The Northwestern Wildcats have long been a prominent fixture of the school, but this was not always the case. Northwestern football began with a slow start, receiving its first mention in 1876 in the student newspaper. The team merited inclusion in the 1885 yearbook, though at the time it featured no more prominently in Northwestern sporting life than did the tug-of-war team. The school's first football teams played informal games in what is now Deering Meadow a few afternoons a week, providing their own football. Intercollegiate competition began in 1882, as the rules of the game grew increasingly formalized and the team gained growing prominence among the school's extracurricular activities. Informally named the Fighting Methodists, the team was more commonly known simply as Northwestern or Purple. It was not until an impressive performance by the team met with the pen of a Chicago Tribune sports writer in 1924 that the famous Wildcats moniker was to be born. The University of Chicago Maroons, aiming for the conference title, faced the Purple, but were held scoreless for 57 minutes by Northwestern's startling determination to the amazement of the crowd. In his account for the Tribune, Northwestern alumnus Wallace Abbey famously wrote, "Football players had not come down from Evanston. Wildcats would be a name better suited to Thistlethwaite's boys." Northwestern lost 3-0, but the team's fighting spirit shone through the next week, as they held Notre Dame's Four Horsemen at bay and solidified their hold on the nickname. Over the next few years, the name would stick and come to represent the whole of Northwestern sports, spreading from football to basketball, baseball, and beyond. By 1927, the Wildcat sports page covered the spectrum of athletics for the Daily Northwestern. Early versions of the Wildcat included a taxidermied specimen in the late 1920s, whose name, Quacky, came from the school's Latin motto, Quae cumque sunt vera, and in 1933, the Northwestern Athletic Department adopted the Wildcat as their official mascot, teaming up with an advertising firm to create the character of Willie the Wildcat, who debuted in 1937. 10 years later, in 1947, Willie was brought to life, appearing on the Alpha Delt homecoming float, and crafted by 4 members of the fraternity, with the help of their mothers. Shortly thereafter, Willie began performing at games to promote school spirit. The original Willie costume required 2 people, one for the costume's head and one for its body. But just as the sports played at Northwestern have evolved through the decades, Willie has taken on many different forms, both on and off the field. Appearing on fraternity house decorations, parade floats, and at events, Willie continues to excite crowds and has led the football team to Rose Bowls in 1949 and 1996. For a brief time in the late 1970s, under the leadership of Special Events Director Tom Rowland, Winnie, a female counterpart to Willie, helped cheer on the school's teams. If the past is any indication, Willie and the Wildcats will undoubtedly remain a dynamic part of life at Northwestern for years to come.